Good morning. I know hindsight is a perfect science, but did you look back at the tapes of the Leicester game and think that was 3 points missed?
Well, yeah, you do. Clearly, given the situation we put ourselves in at half time through great play, we were excellent in the first half, and up to a point, up to their first goal, we were in total control. But credit to Leicester in the end, they just went for it and put two good balls into the box, and we didn't deal with that, and they got 2 goals as a consequence of being positive. But that can happen. It's actually difficult. It's clear when teams get people behind the ball and then have the ability to break quickly, irrespective of the fact that we're down to 10 men. They got the right people on the pitch and got balls in the box, which arguably they're the best team at that in terms of quality in the box and numbers in the box. I mean, they were down to 10 men. At times they had 5-6 people in the box challenging for crosses. So that doesn't usually happen when you're up against 11. So credit to them for that.
It's easy for us to look back, but would you have done things differently and maybe brought some more legs on them?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, we didn't have any defensive-minded players on the bench anyway. So, I mean, we could have got more legs on. I don't think it was a case of that. I think we needed to stop things at source, and that's what we didn't do. Once you allow balls to go into the box, then that's when you come under pressure. So that was difficult.
Does that make for a frustrating week's training?
No, we've had a break, and I think it's now we're back into our normal week, leading into a game. So I think it's one of those things that we're on a decent run. We've very few defeats in the last weeks or so. So we're disappointed because it was an opportunity, because we got ourselves into a winning position and didn't see through to a conclusion. So that's the frustration, but that can happen.
But training-wise, schedule-wise, is it different this year to any other year?
Well, it's usually a little bit more intense, I'd say, just because of where the Christmas Day and Boxing Day falls, and we've had obviously the extra day playing on the 27th. So this year it's not one game after another, which usually it is. So we've been able to plan our week accordingly, and yeah, it's one of the better Christmas periods, I would suggest.
Because of that, do you get a Christmas Day? Do the players get more of a Christmas Day?
No, they still don't get that. They get Christmas Eve, but no, we'll be in Christmas Day, and like I say, it's just our normal working week leading into a game. So we're glad we're able to get that schedule into the players, and it's just a normal week from our point of view.
As a manager, have you planned for a tougher Christmas, bearing in mind that where your opponents are in the league and you're not at home?
No, I mean, this time of the year, seemed to recall last year exactly the same. We had tough fixtures on paper, and we quit ourselves really well. Got a good points return, and that set us up for the new year. The games we have ahead of us clearly difficult. 2 good sides, Liverpool, Chelsea, but we went to Liverpool last year in the League Cup and beat them. Went to Chelsea, got our first point on the board at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League, so shows that we can do that.
Was the League Cup win kind of psychologically important? Because I know the League
Well, I think it was the first time we'd done it for about 40 odd years, so yeah, on the night it was a disappointment because we didn't go through into the final, but we showed that we can go there and get a positive result. So we'll revisit those thoughts leading into the game on Tuesday.
And you say your Christmas record is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, we do okay. Yeah, I think, like I said, we've been on a decent run. We've only 2 defeats in 11, 12, whatever it is now. So we're in decent shape. We look forward to this period. It tests everybody, as you would expect. But like I said, this year the schedule isn't as intense in terms of playing one day, having 1 day recovery, and then having to go again. That's not the case for us. So we've got to make the best of it.
I know the management was different then, but was the 6-1 the biggest win of your management career?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we had good memories of that. Obviously, that was here, last game of the season, different circumstances. Right in the middle of the season, you expect your opposition's focus to be a little bit more intense, and I'd be very surprised if they came with a similar view to the game as they had on that day. But that shows that we can cause Liverpool teams problems.
What has Jurgen Klopp done that's worked? Obviously he's come in and changed things around. How's he?
Well, it looks like he's got very, very good players working hard, and when you have that, then you usually get good performances and results follow, and that's what he's done. He's got an intensity to their play, which maybe they didn't have before. Different managers have different views, different styles, and they've gone from a more possession based to a team that likes to be on the front foot, to put pressure on opposition play in the opposition half and make chances. So they've got a lot of threats. Clearly, the options they have up front are as good as any in the league when they're playing well. So it's going to test us. But as with all teams in the Premier League, ourselves included, there's always players in opposition teams that can hurt you. And Liverpool know that we've got players like that.
Does the game against Leicester mean there's more pressure to get a result against Liverpool?
Not really. It's a difficult fixture. Like I said, it took us 40 years to get a win there. So we hope it's not going to be as long next time. So no, I don't think there's any pressure on us. We're going there with the intention of getting a positive result, like we always do. We never go there with the intention of just protecting what we've got. We always go there with the mind that at some point in the game we'll have opportunities ourselves. So it's about staying in the game and then taking our opportunities when they present themselves.
Final question from me. I know Christmas is busy. Is January going to be busy?
We'll have to wait and see. It's my stock answer, but it's the only one. It's the only one I can give you is that if good players become available and we have the means to do it, then we'll try and get them to the club. But I said time again, we're not looking for squad players. We've got plenty of good, solid players within the squad and good numbers. So we need players to come into the first 11 to strengthen us, and those players are difficult to pick up, certainly in January. Okay.
Joe Allen will be returning to Anfield for the first time since he's signed for you. Can you just spell out what attributes he had that made you want to bring him to the Vet 360?
Well, I'd admired him from afar for a long time, and obviously his time at Liverpool was a frustration for him. It's clear to see. It's only by virtue of the fact that he wasn't playing week in, week out that we had an opportunity of bringing him in here, and it was on the back of outstanding European Championships as well. So I have to say we were quite surprised that after the European Championships, Liverpool was still prepared to allow him to leave, because I thought that there was a worry that maybe his performances in the Europeans may well have made possibly Liverpool think again. But I think they had other irons in the fire. They wanted to get other players in. I think they went into the market, got Wijnaldum, and paid a little bit more, plus the money that they got for Joe. So they clearly were happy to do that deal, and we were happy to have Joe, because you look at his performances since he's come here, they've been absolutely outstanding. His goal scoring as well has been added to his game, which was already very strong anyway. So we're very happy with the deal that was brokered.
And what have you done? Can you spell out what you've done to bring those goals to his game that he has scored more than at Liverpool?
Well, it's only by virtue of moving him to a more attacking position in the team, and I don't think he's had too many games in that forward position, and I just looked at him in training, saw the qualities that he had, is the anticipation of where the ball was going to drop. You could see that in his play in midfield areas, so logically I felt, well, if he can anticipate things in midfield, why can't he do it further up the field? And that's what he's done, and he anticipates really well. His goal against Leicester, prime example of that, was like a striker's finish, being the first one to react to the ball coming off the post, and he's done that ever since he's come here, and that's why he's got a good return. I think he could go close again, maybe double figures this year, which would be outstanding for us as a team that obviously wants goals from all areas if we can. So if we can get a midfield player scoring 10 goals, don't want to put too much pressure on him, but I think he's got the potential to do that.
Now, clearly, you've got a player going back to a former club. Do you have someone with a point to prove?
I think that always happens. I think players always want to do well when they go back to the club they've been at previously, and I'm sure Joe would be no exception in that regard. He's got nothing to prove there, in fairness. I think he was very much appreciated, certainly by his teammates, I know that, but by the fans as well. I think you get a great reception, because I think when the deal was allowed to go through, I think a lot of Liverpool fans expressed a little bit of surprise that he was actually allowed to leave. So I don't anticipate there be any bad feeling towards Joe from now donning the colours of another team. I think everybody appreciated his time at Liverpool, but maybe appreciated that he needed to move on as well.
You just previously mentioned goals. Clearly, your position as a striker, as a player. Have you worked with Joe on helping you finishing, or is that just there?
No, I think he. That's a natural part of his game, that anticipation where the ball's going to drop, and anticipating second balls, and I think he's good at that. He always has been good at that. It's just a case of getting him closer to our strikers, and anticipating balls as they come into the box, which is clearly different than balls just bouncing around in midfield areas. But he's worked at it, and I think he enjoys it. I think that's a key element of the reason why he's doing well, because he wants to make an impression. He's at a new club with new teammates, and he wants that impression to continue, I'm sure. I think as soon as he walked through the door, we knew almost immediately that we had an outstanding player. But the fact he's added goals as well makes him arguably one of the most valuable players in our team.
And can I just ask you just a bit about injuries, updates, or anything like that? I may be really outdated, but Apply, any chance of coming back?
Yeah, Ibi played last Friday. Came through that really strongly, so he's now back in the squad and available for selection. So really delighted that he's come back as strongly as he had. It was a bad injury, and obviously it takes time for you to recover from that. But he looks like the old athlete, to be perfectly honest. Sometimes when players come back from serious injury, they're a little bit apprehensive initially, but we haven't seen any of that. And his performance for the under-23s the other day was very strong. So no qualms about getting him involved again.
Bardsley, any updates?
Barrow's still a couple of weeks away. I think when he did the injury, it was going to be between maybe five or 6 weeks before he was back. So I think he's on track, but he's not back with the group yet.
And Buttons is on his way back, but as a result of that, is there anything, negotiations with Derby over Grant or anything like that? Any update there?
Well, we're hoping to do that deal if we can, but there needs to be a little bit of sense on both sides, I think. And at the moment, we're still a little bit far away, I think. So hopefully I'll get an update today, and we'll get some good news on that. Okay.
How's Jeff Cameron as well?
Jeff is still a number of weeks away. We had a few setbacks with that in terms of the initial injury, but Jeff's working hard. He's now got a schedule and a plan to work to, which I think is helping him. So would imagine he's on track now, so he should be back in 2 to 3 weeks, I would think.
Mark, have you been impressed with the enthusiasm that Jurgen's brought to the league? I mean, he's really kind of transformed that Liverpool team and really catapulted it.
Well, they've always been a good team. I mean, you look at the players they've got, and the ability that they can call upon. It's an outstanding team. What he's given them is maybe a belief that they can actually go ahead and take that final step and make themselves competitive right to the end of the season and give themselves a chance to win the Premier League again. He's done that, it seems, by firing everybody up, by being enthusiastic on the line. He's a big character, big personality, and I think Liverpool fans have warmed to that as well as their players. So it seems to be a positive club once again. So he's a big part of that, clearly, because he drives that as the manager. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do this year. The key is obviously to maintain it right to the end of the year. So I think everybody will expect them to be in and around the final places come the end of the season. But whether or not they can win it, they've got the potential to, but we'll have to wait and see.
They've only kept 2 successive Premier League clean sheets. 3 in a row in the competition under Jurgen. So is that maybe an area that maybe you can capitalise on going into the game?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said before, every team in the Premier League has a player or players that can change games towards their own team, and we're no different in that regard. We've got talented players that can damage opposition teams, and we've showed that last year at Anfield, as I've already mentioned. So we're going there with a positive mindset. They're a good side, and you have to remain in the game, make sure that you're competitive and give yourself a chance to win the game yourselves. And if we do that and are resolute, then we'll be fine.
You said about how he's changed and maybe tactically. Is it somebody you enjoy going up against? Or one of the other managers in the league?
Well, I think it's important. Listen, the Premier League is a world league now. It's not just a British league. It attracts all the best talent, both in coaching sense and playing sense. So it's good that these big name managers are coming here and applying their trade. I think it does take them a little bit longer than they probably think it would, given their talent. But catches everybody out initially, the Premier League. But once they get to grips with it and with the resources that most of the top managers have, then it shouldn't be hard to get good results from their team.
Well, 2 tougher away games coming up against 1 and 2 in the Premier League, Chelsea and Liverpool. Which do you reckon is going to actually win the championship?
Good question. Difficult to say. I think you look at Chelsea and they look strong. They look resolute. They've got a set way of playing that seems to be working for them, which actually makes them even more difficult to break down. We've touched on the fact that maybe Liverpool concede more goals and more readily, so maybe that will be the key difference that allows a Chelsea team, if it is to be them, to be above Liverpool at the end of the year. But they're both very good teams, clearly. Both have individuals within their teams that can win the game on their own, even if their performances as a whole aren't quite up to the level that they know they're capable of. It's all the top teams of these type of players, as other teams as well.
Stoke put an incredible performance at Anfield, as you say, last season in the Cup. Will they be able to recreate that spirit?
Yeah, I hope so. I think we went there with a real determination, and the key element to our performance was belief, that we believed we could get something out of it, and that'll be no different come Tuesday. I think we'll go there with that positive mindset, which you always need to have. No apprehension. We'll give it a go. Not too many people are thinking we have an opportunity to get a positive result, but that's not the case within our camp. So we'll see where it takes us. I think that belief that we've shown in the past will help us going into this game.
Finally, you mentioned injuries. Did you mention Shaqiri? Was he carrying an injury for the Leicester game? Or did
No. We made a change. I said during this period that we're going to swap people around and try and freshen things up, and that's what we did on the day. So no, he was fine. He was available. He's okay for this weekend.
Thanks, folks.
Okay. Thanks. And you.
Oh, come on.